Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Welcome to Ask Rob and Rob. It's a show where we love to answer your questions, so really looking forward to getting into those. Let's do that as quickly as we can, but I'm sure you've got a great question as well. So how do you send it over to us?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a webinar recently and we were inundated with questions. So if you do have a burning question, the best way to get it answered is by contacting us via these two methods. You only have to do one of them. Pick which you prefer. So you can pick up your phone and do 013-808-0035, or you could go to propertyhub.net/ask and leave a message that way. And you could do that through your phone or your computer or your iPad or whatever device you use. Just go to the website and leave a message that way. That's exactly what Stephen's done, and he's got a great question.
Hi, Rob and Rob. Steve from Manchester here. Long-term listener of the show, big fan. You've helped me a lot along the way. And I've been investing for a few years now and looked at various strategies, spoke to lots of different people. And one of the things that I come across a lot is the negativity towards property investing and to landlords. You often hear terms like parasites, leeches, and that all landlords are bad, and that property shouldn't be for investing, it should be for the people. I think comments like that, really, and whole sort of negative attitude towards it. I try to sort of approach it in an ethical way. You know, I look after my tenants as best as I can, do what's right for them, make it their home, etc., support them when they need it. And you still hear people making these comments. I just wanted to get your sort of point of view on how you deal with this negativity, how you respond to these people. Do you have an argument with these people or a conversation with them? Negativity, if you like.
Stephen, thank you. Yes, unfortunately, you will interact with people in life with these viewpoints, and it can, if you allow it, not be pleasant. Now, I'll be interested to hear what Rob's approach to this is, but my advice to this is just ignore it and don't engage and exclude those people from your life. I know the last bit sounds quite dramatic, but I'll explain why. It's a bit like parents would say to you at school, like, you know, don't engage with bullies or anything like that. It's kind of just don't engage with negative people. It's just not worth your time. There's a saying that you can't win an argument because even if you win the point, you made the other person feel bad. So if you engage with someone on this level and try to explain to them quite rightly why you're not a parasite and actually you're providing a service, then you might be able to turn them around, but then they'll not like you anyway because you've made them concede and they're not happy. And then on the point of just negative people, I'm quite ruthless in life in the form that I only just want to surround myself with people I feel add to life, not take away from life. There are people in life who just, unfortunately, aren't on the whole that pleasant to be around. And for whatever reason, they want to bring other people down with them. And if people, for some reason, you know, want to engage with you and call you a parasite or make you feel bad about something you're doing, then I just wouldn't hang around with them. Now, if you absolutely have to engage with somebody, what I would do is ask them why. Because what you find in life, I've certainly found anyway, is people who hold strong opinions generally don't have them based upon much. And they just have sound bites that sound good that most people will accept. But if you actually question someone to say, so why do you feel that way? And then they may give you a surface level answer again. And then you question again, yes, but why do you think that? Suddenly you find that the majority of people hold strong views based on very, very little. And again, you're probably not going to make them feel good and you'll probably make them feel silly. And therefore it's not going to be a great interaction anyway. So my advice of not engaging in the first place stands. But if you absolutely have to, I'd really question the person on why they have those beliefs, because the chances are the vast majority of people with those beliefs don't actually know why they have those beliefs, and it's based on very little. But Rob, you might have a completely different approach to this. So what would you do?
No, for me, it's really simple. Just don't pay any attention to it. You've basically hinted at this already, Rob, but most people don't want to change their minds. Property and renting and landlords and things like that is just one of those issues where people have their view and they are not interested in changing it. You could give them the best reasoned argument in the world, but it doesn't matter. They're just going to get more and more angry and more irrational, because whatever happens, there is no universe where they're suddenly going to say, you know what, you're right, you've made me think about this in a completely different way, thank you. That's pretty uncommon in any area of life, but especially when you get into kind of political stuff like this, never going to happen. So it's not even worth getting involved. So smile and nod and move on and put your energy into doing something positive in your own life rather than engaging with people who are negative. Okay, talking about positives, let's move on to our next question.
Hi, Rob and Rob. Thanks so much for the podcast. My name's Bilal and I'm calling from Birmingham. I'm interested in starting a buy-to-let portfolio. I just wanted some advice regarding interest rates and rental income. Will rents rise to match interest rates? Because as we all know, at the moment, they are low and so is repayment. But as the interest rates rise, will this impact on the profit margin on buy-to-let? Surely the profit margin will reduce. It would be great to have your thoughts on this. Thank you. Love it listening to the podcast.
Will rents rise to match interest rates? Well, not directly, but they may indirectly. So rents are largely a function of earnings. So the ability and willingness for people to pay more rent tends to be associated with people earning more. Makes sense. And that doesn't in itself have anything to do with interest rates. So if interest rates go up, your mortgage gets more expensive, then that doesn't mean you can go, my profit margins are being squeezed here, I better put the rents up. Because maybe if you've got a tenant in there already, they will accept that and you will be able to. But in the market at large, there's no reason why tenants or potential tenants would be willing to pay more purely because your profit margin has gone down. So the answer in that sense is no. However, in an indirect kind of sense, you'd expect interest rates to be increasing if the economy is starting to do better, because interest rates tend to be lowered to help the economy out when it's struggling and raised to cool it down when it's doing almost too well. And in a situation where the economy is doing well, you would expect people's wages to grow and therefore your ability to charge higher rents. So there is an indirect link, but you need to be aware that your profit margin can change over time and you need to be able to survive higher interest rates. You may not like them, but you need to be able to survive them. Fortunately, this is now pretty much done for you these days. When you take out a buy-to-let loan, they stress test it at a far higher rate of interest than we currently have. So you definitely would be able to survive rates going up even if you don't want them to. And you also need to bear in mind that interest rates aren't going to affect you immediately and may not affect you at all. So if you are on a fixed rate mortgage, then whatever happens to interest rates won't affect you until the end of your fix. And so if this is something you're concerned about, you can fix for longer to have more certainty. And it may not affect you at all because the Bank of England base rate is only one component of what goes into determining how much mortgage lenders charge you. So they may take a hit on their own margins to keep rates low, even if the base rate goes up. You're right to be considering this area as part of your investment strategy, and I hope that answer gives you something useful to be thinking about.
Well, that's us done for another week. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back, of course, next Tuesday with Ask Rob and Rob, and back with the main event, the Property Podcast, on Thursday. So make sure you join us for that. If that isn't enough, you've got Property Hub social channels to fall back on at Property Hub UK. So plenty to keep you busy with, plenty of property goodness. Until we're back in your earbuds again, take care, have fun, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.